The arena's bioluminescent walls pulsed with rhythmic patterns, casting an eerie violet glow across the obsidian floor. Daisy stood at the center of the ceremonial circle, her boots planted firmly on the alien stone as hundreds of eyes, some compound, some singular, some beyond human comprehension, watched from the tiered seating above. "This is insane," William muttered from his position at the arena's edge, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface of his datapad. "You don't have to do this. You... Daisy rolled her shoulders, feeling the familiar weight of Earth's gravity in her muscles, a gravity that was nearly double what this moon provided. "Yeah, I do. They said humans are weak, that we only survived because we're sneaky, not strong." "They're not entirely wrong about the sneaky part," William said, managing a weak smile despite the tension coiling in his chest. The Krath ambassador had been clear during the negotiations. Humanity wanted a seat on the Galactic Council. The Krath, a species of 7-foot-tall warriors with exoskeletons that could deflect plasma rounds, had laughed. They'd proposed a test. Single combat in their traditional style. No weapons. No technology. Just strength against strength. The council representatives had advised against it. Humans were physically inferior to most spacefaring species, everyone knew this. But Daisy had volunteered immediately. Much to William's horror, a deep, resonating gong echoed through the arena. The Krath champion emerged from the opposite entrance, a towering figure named Jar Koth, his chitinous plates gleaming like polished obsidian. Each of his 4 arms ended in 3-fingered hands that looked capable of crushing steel. His mandibles clicked in what Daisy had learned was amusement. The human female, Jar Koth's translator, rendered his speech in flat, emotionless English. "You should have sent your warriors, not your breeders." Daisy's jaw tightened, but she said nothing. She'd dealt with enough condescension in her career as a heavy-lift engineer on Luna Base. Words meant nothing. Results did. "The rules are simple," the Arbiter announced, its crystalline form refracting light into rainbow patterns. "Remain within the circle. Force your opponent beyond its boundaries. Begin." Jar Koth moved with surprising speed for his size, closing the distance between them in 3 long strides. Daisy held her ground, watching his approach with the careful attention her father had taught her in his dojo back in Montana, a lifetime and several light years ago. The Krath champion reached for her with his upper arms, a traditional grappling technique. But instead of meeting his charge head-on, Daisy pivoted, letting his momentum carry him past her. She'd watched the ceremonial recordings William had found. The Krath fought with overwhelming force, expecting their opponents to crumble. Jar Koth recovered quickly, his mandibles clicking in annoyance. This time, he approached more cautiously, his 4 arms spread wide to prevent another evasion. "Come on, Daisy," William whispered from the sidelines, though she couldn't possibly hear him over the crowd's chittering and roaring. The alien grabbed her from behind, his upper arms locked around her shoulders while his lower arms seized her waist. It was a classic Krath submission hold, one that had ended countless matches. The crowd's noise intensified, certain they were witnessing a swift conclusion. But Jar Koth had made a critical miscalculation. Daisy bent forward at the waist, lowering her center of gravity. Then, using every ounce of strength developed from years of wrestling equipment in Luna's lower gravity and training in Earth's crushing pull, she gripped Jar Koth's upper arms. She dropped her hips, planted her feet, and executed a perfect Ippon Seoi Naj, a shoulder throw her father had drilled into her 1,000 times. The physics were beautiful in their simplicity. The moon's gravity was 0. No. 4G. Less than half of Earth's. Jar Koth, for all his impressive bulk, weighed perhaps 130 pounds in this environment. Daisy, who had trained in Earth's 1G and worked in Luna's 16G, knew exactly how to leverage force across gravity differentials. She lifted him over her shoulder and threw him out of the circle. The arena fell silent. Jar Koth lay sprawled on the obsidian floor beyond the boundary, his mandibles frozen in shock. Slowly, he rose to his feet, his compound eyes fixed on Daisy, as she stood calmly within the circle. Barely winded. Impossible, someone in the crowd murmured. The arbiter floated forward, its crystalline form chiming softly. The human wins. Pandemonium erupted. Some species cheered, others howled in protest. The Krath delegation sat in stunned silence. William vaulted over the barrier and rushed to Daisy's side. That was incredible. Did you see his face? Well, his mandibles. But I saw, Daisy said, allowing herself a small smile. Zarkoth approached the circle's edge, moving with newfound respect. He extended an upper arm, the Krath gesture of acknowledgement. You are stronger than you appear, human. No, Daisy corrected, gripping his hand firmly. I'm exactly as strong as I appear. You just didn't know what to look for. Later, in the diplomatic chamber, the council vote was unanimous. Humanity had proven itself not through superior technology or cunning diplomacy, but through the simple, undeniable fact that they understood something most species had forgotten. Strength wasn't just about muscle mass or armor plating. It was about knowing how to use what you had. They're calling you the gravity warrior on the feeds, William said, scrolling through his datapad as they walked through the station's corridors. There are already 3 entertainment companies bidding for your life rights. Daisy laughed. Tell them I'm not interested. I've got heavy machinery to move on, Luna, and I'm already behind schedule. You just won humanity a council seat and you're worried about a construction schedule? Someone's got to build the embassy, Daisy said, grinning. Might as well be me. Behind them, in the arena, maintenance drones were already erasing the ceremonial circle. But across the galaxy, on 1,000 worlds and stations, the story was spreading. The day a human woman had lifted a Krath warrior over her shoulder and changed everything. Not because humans were the strongest species in the galaxy, but because they knew exactly how strong they needed to be. The end.